I almost died of a broken heart, and this is the story time of how it happened.
Hi, I'm Soup's mom, Kayla. I have a lot of new friends on Instagram and Facebook who were asking for this story, and because it's my 3-year anniversary of the heart event that almost took me out, figured now was a really good time to go ahead and do a story time of everything that happened, how everything went down, and give you guys some tips for how to make sure that this doesn't happen to you in your life. You may be wondering to yourself, could this happen to me? What I learned from this event is that this can happen to anybody if you are under enough stress. My own personal stress background and the things that were happening leading up to my event. There was actually quite a lot. To start it off fun, I have CPTSD, which really did a number on my nervous system. But in addition to that, there were some very stressful events that were happening immediately preceding what happened with my heart. And those are going no contact with my family, selling our home and relocating, recovering from an emergency spinal surgery, my grandmother getting diagnosed with ALS. I had just gone through an incredibly stressful period of infertility where we had lost 8 pregnancies in total, including a second trimester loss of identical twins. So all of that in the background. I will take you through what happened the day I almost died of a broken heart. Just a little bit on the infertility aspect. Why this is so important is because that's kind of what set this off. We've been told by about 4 different doctors at that point that there was no way we were going to be able to get pregnant on our own. We didn't take preventative measures because we had been told over and over and over again that that was not a possibility for us. And we paid a lot of money to be able to have our children. So that was not even remotely on my radar. So when a second line came up on a pregnancy test, I was absolutely out of my mind shocked. I remember just looking at this and being like, is this real life? How is this even possible? But overwhelmingly like happy and excited, you know. That was until the test lines on my pregnancy test started getting really wonky and going lighter. And like I knew from past experiences that that was probably going to be a bad sign, right? So I went into the doctor's office and they did labs and they believed that because my HCG levels were going up and down, that I was having an ectopic pregnancy. They did an ultrasound on me and they couldn't find the baby anywhere in my uterus. Obviously at this point I'm distraught where, you know, it was a really, really difficult, really gut-wrenching thing to sit with. I think the hardest part for me was feeling like I had been given this amazing, incredible gift, you know, by the universe or whatever it was, just for the rug to get yanked out from under me. That false sense of like hope really just took the wind out of me. And I decided at that point that when they would go and take the ectopic pregnancy, that they should also take my tubes because I didn't want to ever have the possibility of being able to be pregnant ever again. So we scheduled that surgery. It really should have been simple. It was supposed to be so routine and so in and out, you know? Well, it wasn't in and out.